Hi, in this video, I'm going to discuss about the clustering and what is the meaning of clustering, what is the definition of clustering, and what is the meaning of unsupervised learning algorithm, unsupervised learning algorithm, supervised learning algorithm, and what are the different types of unsupervised learning algorithms. In that, one of the part is clustering, okay, and what is meaning of what are different applications of clustering. So these are the some of the basic introduction about the clustering concept I am going to discuss in this video. Now here there is a label data. So here there are two types of data sets are there. One is labeled data and labeled data and unlabeled data. Unlabeled data set. Okay, there are two types of data sets are there. One is a labeled data set and a unlabeled data set. What is the meaning of labeled data set? Here it contains the features like x1, x2 and so on, xn, and corresponding class labels are there. Okay, corresponding class labels are there. Simply this type of data set is called as a labeled data set. Normally this data set is, if the data set is like this one, then we are going to apply a one technique, learning technique is called as a supervised learning algorithms, supervised learning techniques, supervised learning techniques. Okay, now coming to unlabeled data set, here it contains only features only, Okay, it does not contain any class labels. So based on these features, we are going to group the data set into different categories. Okay, homogeneous a group of things. Simply that process is called a unlabeled data set. Okay, now or unsupervised learning algorithms. Unsupervised learning algorithms. Okay, now this is the difference between the supervised learning algorithm and unsupervised learning algorithm. So for the supervised learning algorithm, we are providing the labeled data set. For the unsupervised learning algorithm, we are providing the unlabeled data set. Okay. So for this example, here having the data set like sepal length, okay, sepal width, petal length and petal width. The four features are there. We don't have any class labels or target variables at that time. Based on their features, we have to group them into different homogeneous categories. Simply that process is called as a clustering. Okay, here in this example, okay, we are using the concept of unsupervised learning algorithm. In the unsupervised learning algorithm, the trained data is a unlabeled data set. Unlabeled data set. It contains only features only like x1, x2, x3 and x4, like that. They are features only. We don't have any corresponding class labels like sepal length, sepal width, petal length and petal width. Now, so see this example here also, we are having the different different instances are there without any class labels, without any target variables. So simply the type of thing is called as a unsupervised learning algorithm. Okay, now unsupervised learning algorithm. So based on these features, we have grouped them into different categories. This is one group based on their similarities. So this is one group, okay, and these four group belonging to one group, and this is one group, okay. This is one group. Like that, we are going to create the different groups. What are the elements are there within the group? Those are belonging to homogeneous group of elements. Homogeneous group of elements. Like that, we are going to form the clusters. Simply, the type of thing is called as a unsupervised learning algorithm. This is one of the concept of clustering algorithms. Okay, now the system is tries to learn without a teacher. The type of thing is called as a okay clustering algorithm or unsupervised learning algorithms. Then, for example, here we are having the model for the our machine learning contents. For the machine learning algorithm, we are providing a data set in the form of a only features only, like what the data in the form of a text format or document format or images or whatever it may be different format without labels. Without labels, we are providing to the our machine learning. Okay, for the mod, this is a model, f is a model. For the model, we are providing the features. Okay, like x1, x2, x3 and so on, xn. Like that, we are going to provide the features. Based on these features, our model is going to be trained. Okay, for this trained model, we are providing the new feature. We are providing the new feature. Okay, new feature like x new 1, x new 2 and x new 3, like that x n, new n. Like that we are providing the new features to the our model. Automatically our model is going to provide the corresponding cluster ID. Simply this process is called as a unsupervised learning algorithm. Okay, so now for example here we are having the different types of Mickey Mouse are there and ducks are there. Okay, based on the features we have to see here we don't have any class labels. Okay, it is a mouse, Mickey Mouse, it may be ducks or okay, what are the there is no labels. But our model is going to be automatically classify them into different groups. This is one group 1. Okay, group 1. This is another group 2. Group 2. So this group 1 contains similar behavior elements. Okay, similar behavior elements like ducks only. So this group 2 contains only Mickey Mouse. Okay, like that we are going to supply things with help of unsupervised learning algorithm. Simply this process is called a clustering algorithm. Okay, now. So clustering is one of the most frequently used in the analytics applications, and also it helps the data scientist to create a homogeneous group of customers or entities for the better management of customers or entities. That is the main aim of the clustering algorithm. That means it helps the data scientist to create the homogeneous group of customers. That means similar behavior customers into one group. Simply that process is called as a clustering. Okay, that is a better management of the customers. Okay, in many analytics projects, once the data preparation is completed, the clustering is usually carried out before applying the other analytical models. So before after applying the data preparation, then we have to apply the concept of clustering technique. Then clustering is divided into is a problem is based on the divide and conquer strategy. It's based on the divide and conquer strategy, which divides the data set into homogeneous groups and which can be further used to prescribe the right strategy for the different groups. Based on their groups, we are going to apply different strategies on the each and every group. Okay. For example, the data set contains n number of features, n number of n number of elements are there, n number of instances. Okay. So for example, here this is one group of elements, and and one more group is there, and one more group like this. Okay, one more group is there. One more group of elements. These are the one more group of elements. So based on these features, we are going to group them into different categories. Okay, different categories. Okay, here the category 1. This is one based on the features of the or homogeneous features. We group them into two different categories or groups. Okay, this is group 1 and this is a group 2. Okay, that means what are the elements are there within the group 1 that have the same behavior, and also we are having the same behavior elements into different groups. Okay, so which can be further used to prescribe the right strategy on group 1 and on group 2 according to our situation. Okay, in clustering, the objective is to ensure that the variation within the cluster is minimized and while the variation between the clusters is maximized. There are two conditions are there. One first condition is the variation within the cluster is be minimized. So minimize the distance between within the cluster is going to be minimized. See this one here. Here we are having the different elements are there. Okay, here we are having the different elements are there. Like here we are having the different elements within the group 1, and this one group 2, and this is one group 3. Okay, so here what happened, the distance between the one element to other element is going to be minimized. Okay, what are the elements here within the group 1, that becomes the inter-cluster distance are minimized. That is the main objective. Okay, the objective one of the clustering is variation within the cluster is going to be minimized, and while the variation between the clusters is going to be maximized. The distance between the one cluster to other cluster is going to be maximized. The distance between one element in the one cluster to the one element in the other cluster, the distance is going to be maximized. That is called as a inter-cluster distances are maximized. So these are the two important principles of the clustering. The first thing is inter-cluster distances are minimized. Inter-cluster distances are minimized, and intra-cluster distance are minimized. Intra-cluster, within the elements of the distance within the elements must be minimized. That is called the intra-cluster decisions are minimized and inter-cluster decisions are maximized. These are the two important principles of the clustering algorithm. Now, clustering algorithms are unsupervised learning algorithms. Okay, that is called as a classes are not known a prior. Okay, so the name class labels of the corresponding instance are we don't know at the time of beginning of our model. So whereas classification problems are supervised learning algorithms where the classes are known as a prior in the training data set itself. Okay, simply that this thing is called as a supervised learning algorithm. Another important difference is that between the clustering and the classification is that clustering is a descriptive analytics. Coming to classification is nothing but usually a predictive analytics applications, analytics algorithms. The main object of the clustering is to create the heterogeneous subsets. Heterogeneous subsets are simply called as clusters from the original data sets such that records within the clusters are homogeneous. Records within the clusters are homogeneous. Homogeneous. What is the meaning of homogeneous? Homogeneous, they have the similar behaviors elements. Identify the characteristics that differentiate the subsets. So simply this process is called as a clustering. Okay. For example, if a company wants to increase its brand awareness to appeal to its all existing customers or possible future customers, okay, it must be design a campaign. So the company can design a single campaign to address all its customers. So it is not the best way. Okay. So, but what is the customers have the different characteristics such as a varied income and age and preferences, professions and the gender. At that time, we have to differentiate the different groups and according to their behavior, we have to develop a campaign. Okay, the same campaign may not appeal to all of them. So the company can think of the running multiple campaigns targeting the different customer segments, but to know how many such campaigns need to be designed. So we need an understanding of how many customer segments exist and which customers fall under which segment. That is very, very important. So clustering is a technique can be used to answer all these questions. So where that means here the clustering is makes an important role to identify the right customers for the right product. So that is the main aim of the clustering techniques. In the next video, I'm going to discuss about the how does clustering may work. Okay. If you have any questions or doubts, please leave them in the comment box. I will address them in the next video. Thank you. Thanks for watching our video. If you like the video, please subscribe my channel. Thank you.